So this is Penny. Yes, people, don't worry. I still have Herschel with me, this bozo. I threw up not too long ago before I was shooting this video. Hey everybody, this is Atticus, the Death Metaller, and yes, with the little intro, I am currently taking care of my brother's puppy while he's up in South Carolina with his girlfriend. But, welcome to another longly awaited episode of the Death Metaller Reviews. Here in this episode, we're going to be reviewing Rivers of Nile's most recent release, Where Owls Know My Name, with this album right here. And just like with every The Death Metaller Reviews, let's do a little brief history onto the band now, shall we? If Psychroptic and Fallujah had raw, passionate sex together and conceived a child, Rivers of Nile would be that child. Formed in 2009 in the town of Reading, Pennsylvania, the same town where Black Crown Initiative was formed, Rivers of Nile has really proven the world that they are indeed a true force to be reckoned with, and another fantastic addition to the wave of technical death metal bands such as Fallujah, Psychroptic, Archaic, Archspire, and Obscura. Rivers of Nile announced themselves as one of the most promising and forward-thinking metal bands in the world, as well as, along with Black Crown Initiate, marking Reading, Pennsylvania as a hotbed for metal activity. They caught my initial attention when they released their first debut album, The Conscious Seed of Light, which had Eric Rutan's hands all over, which was a great start from them. But it was 2015 when they really shot through my heart with their second release, Monarchy, which had Carson Slovak and Grant McFarlane's hands all over. And quite honestly, that release showed that Rivers of Nile was a band not to fuck around with, and was a growing force of awesomeness. But it's with this recent release of the band, and where we have seen their magnum opus, Where Owls Know My Name. And this is where we start our review for Where Owls Know My Name. Where Owls Know My Name was produced, mixed, and engineered by, yet again, Carson Slovak and Grant McFarlane, the same people who were responsible for Monarchy. And I just gotta say that this album, and I explicitly told this to the guys when I saw them live not too long ago, basically Where Owls Know My Name is if Pink Floyd decided to go tech death. It is such an innovative release, such an innovative album. It sounds like a lot of other great influences. You get influence from progressive metal, gent, a little bit of atmospheric black metal, atmospheric technical death metal, Rivers of Nile's own unique sound, and a bunch of other bands that they're friends with, and just, you know, influences of grunge and classic rock are into the mix. It is such an innovative powerhouse. It just leaves you just breathless on how epic this album sounds, and just it leaves you questioning on just why this band is still, you know, just not really that heard of that much. But I hope it really changes with this release that they've brought out, because it's basically their pride and joy mixed into this album. And I also talked with the guys who said, yeah, we've took our time making this, and I said and it all paid off. So enough of me talking about, you know, how I felt about this album, and let us get down to the songs that I absolutely loved from Where Owls Know My Name. The first track on this list is the second track, The Silent Life. When I first heard this song, it was basically, it had the same sound as what you would expect off of their last release, Monarchy. And I thought it was gonna be, you know, a really good tech death track. But then the Saxoning came along, and it was probably the best saxophone solo that I have heard in a while. Now, it is no stranger that metal bands use the saxophone into, like, you know, their music. Most notably, the German melodic death metal band Deadlock, as well as the progressive British metal band Aeon Zin has used the saxophone in a few of their tracks. But the saxophone, or the saxoning, is a reoccurring theme throughout the entire album, which I will talk about later. But the saxophone used in this track, it is so sexy. Have a listen. The next track on this list is a very interesting track off of the album. It's called A Home. And to be brutally honest, it sounds exactly like if Periphery went technical death metal. Now, most people are not fans of Periphery or any other Jet band, but I absolutely love the band Periphery. And I also love the direction that Rivers of Nihil went into making that sort of song. It's really good. It really works. It also has that atmospheric feel to all their songs. And not to mention, the solo from Broody sounds pretty much like you would hear off of a grunge band. And it's different, it's, you know, unique, and it also really works. So A Home is a really great song to jam out to. The next song on our list is quite a doozy and an epic journey off of this album. The track is called Subtle Change, including the Forest of Transition and Dissatisfaction Dance. What I can explicitly say about this song is that it is just a journey of a bunch of mashups that are into this song. It starts off very calm, it starts off a little bit, you know, off of the road, and then it just goes back to being calm, then explosive, aggressive, right in your face. It sounds like you're listening to like a very ambient, you know, song. Then it goes to progressive, technical death metal, grindcore. It mixes with harsh vocals as well as clean vocals and just screeches. And it ends, and I shit you not, the ending sounds like something that you would hear off of Led Zeppelin's most famous song, Stairway to Heaven. It is a mashup of just multiple genres and influences, and Rivers of Nihil does it so perfectly, unlike a certain other band. But aside from all that, it is quite one of my favorite tracks off of this album. Just 8 minutes of just pure epicness, and it works so well.
Satisfied as you drift back to what you were before you came here.
Now the next track is personally, in my opinion, my favorite track, but it is an instrumental, and it is part 3 of Terrestria, Wither. And upon when I first heard this track, I shit you not, I got a vibe off of Stranger Things. And even when I was talking to some of the guys from Rivers of Nihil, they said, yeah, one of our biggest influences in making Where Owls Know My Name was Stranger Things. And I swear to God, if the guys from Stranger Things do not stumble upon this and go, hey, you know what'd be really cool? We could add this to season 3. If they don't add this track, I am seriously gonna be pissed because it works so well and it sounds just like you would hear off of Stranger Things. Don't believe me? Have a listen. Down to our final track, which is the self-titled track Where Owls Know My Name. And it is a really awesome track because it features the guitarist and vocalist of another band from Reading, Pennsylvania, Andy Thomas of Black Crown Initiate. And of course, I've done a review on Black Crown Initiate 2 years ago. It's not one of my best reviews, but I'm so glad that I've evolved throughout this short time onto the Death Metal Reviews. And Black Crown Initiate, Cells We Cannot Forget, was one of the first videos I've done a review of an album for. But Andy Thomas does phenomenal onto that track. Also, the track sounds just like Black Crown Initiate's self-titled track of Cells We Cannot Forget. It has that same vibe and that same Black Crown Initiate vibe, along with the sax hitting and the influences of Rivers of Nihil.
Take my mind.
Now I know we are halfway into 2018, but I will indeed say this. Where Owls Know My Name has left just a tremendous impact for me onto 2018. It is one of the most innovative, if not the most unique, technical death metal albums I've ever came across in a long time. I thought Dreamless was a great album off of Fallujah, but Where Owls Know My Name took things to another level. Along with Rivers of Nihil's last release, Monarchy. I thought Monarchy was a good release, but it blew my expectations away with Where Owls Know My Name. You have influences of progressive metal, progressive rock, classic rock, grunge, gent, atmospheric black metal, and technical death metal are all in onto this one album, and they all work so perfectly in my opinion. Though I will indeed, the excessive use of the saxophone kind of tone it down on me on some parts of the album, but then again, it worked pretty well with the whole release. Though I will say it would have worked with a couple of songs, but you know, they did what they had to do, but they did great with this album. And I will indeed say, just like with the Sin the Sentence by Trivium, Where Owls Know My Name will become an instant classic. Where Owls Know My Name, without a doubt, gets a 10 out of 10 for this review. Now, before I end this video, I just want to let you guys know that the guys from Rivers of Nihil are still on tour with Sanction, Enterprise Earth, Thy Art Is Murder, and Dying Fetus. Make sure to check them out on the last remaining events on their tour with Dying Fetus. They are some of the coolest and nicest guys I've ever had the utmost honor and utmost privilege to talking with them and just saying how amazing that this album is. They are some of the nicest, hardworking guys I've ever came across. So please check them out and, you know, just have fun listening to them along with the other bands. Please just go support all the other bands on the list along with Rivers of Nihil. Without further ado, ladies and gents, I am Atticus the Death Metaller. Hope you like this video. Subscribe to my channel. Links are in the description below. Keep it metal, and have an excellent day. Say bye-bye, Penny! Bye-bye!
You can live a life
Oh, oh shit.